Cameron, Lord Cameron of, what do you call it?
Sheeping
Norton.
Funny Chinese connections, that one.
He's now the Foreign Secretary, hurtling around the world, making his own policies. He's now said that the UK, Britain, will withhold weapons from Israel unless it lets aid into Gaza and sticks to international law. I mean, you know, I'd like to see some aid get to those poor Palestinians and all that. There is a humanitarian crisis going on there, but Cameron seems to forget here that our policy is we stand with Israel. What does he think he's doing here?
I think a lot of the public will be amazed that we're currently not withholding arms to Israel. The things that Israel are doing...
Well, they're an ally, aren't they?
They are an ally, but and we are not. Nobody is saying they shouldn't be able to defend themselves. Nobody is saying they shouldn't get those hostages back. But a lot of people are saying you are mistreating a lot of people in Gaza, and there is a real crisis there. And everyone in the House of Commons has spoken about that crisis and Netanyahu asked the Israeli government to, for want of this is not the best term, but go easy a little bit, right? The idea that we've been doing that, they've been ignoring us, and we've still been giving them weapons, will come as a surprise to large parts of the public.
I mean, what I think is quite remarkable is I don't think I've ever heard a foreign secretary before actually sort of tell the world who we sell weapons to. You know, it usually takes an investigative journalist to follow the money and dig around those sorts of geopolitical connections. And I think that's a bit of a clangor. But I think it's also important to point out that a spokesman for the Israeli government basically said, we don't care. We'll get our weapons from somewhere else. The British mandate in Israel ended in 1948. So I do question whether Lord of Sheeping Norton really had.
I think you'll find that Israel are always a good customer when it comes to weapons. But I agree with you. I don't know what the hell he thinks he's doing. He's giving us policies from the North London dinner party circuit, virtue signalling. We are supposed to be allies of Israel, but this is what I think. For what it's worth, if we want this horror to end, we have to let Netanyahu get to a position where he thinks he can stand up and say, I have now destroyed Hamas and the hostages have been released. If we don't get there, this will carry on. So just saying we're not going to sell you weapons is not going to have any effect at all.
Getting them to that point is going to be very expensive.
He'll be willing to make compromises, though. He'll be willing to be pragmatic about it. You've just got to allow him to save face.
It's such a complex picture in that particular region. You've got to ask yourself what the Egyptians want, what the UAE want, what Qatar wants, what Saudi wants, because there's many people all with sort of skin in the game when it comes to what's going on right now in Gaza. And I think whatever Britain says or does is probably not going to move the needle a lot.
Doesn't matter very much, no.